Hello, how's everybody? I feel like I have been summoned to do this YouTube. I know it's been a long time. This is an update. The reason why it's taken so long for me to do another update is because of this project that I'm doing with Dance Out Music. I'm doing a section, it's Precision 2. But I'm not going to go to that. But that's one reason, because I had to do so many hours. I'm up to 1,000 hours with this one thing as far as YouTube. Just one YouTube that I'm doing. But first I'm going to talk about a little bit of myself. I'm growing my hair. I remember when I was in the 60s, okay? And if you have like kinky hair or curly hair, it was all right. In the 60s, everybody wore their hair like out. And this is the first time in a long time that with my jobs that I got, I don't have to worry about anybody saying anything about my hair, because nowadays, if you grow your hair in a bush, people are going to freak out. So now I'm in a position to where I want to, again, I did it before when I was living in New York, but now I'm going to do it again. This is just a little bit about myself. And I got one of these, okay, and I got this, okay, which I hadn't gotten in a long time. But that's one thing I want to do, is I want to grow my hair out. I don't care how big it is, maybe like this big or whatever. But so this is an update. I'm going to talk about the channel, okay, and I'm going to do another YouTube, but I don't know when. It's going to be soon, and I'll explain it in the video. But some people are just into certain things on my YouTube. My first one is Ex-Jehovah Witnesses. That's the first thing I'm going to talk about, the update as far as that's concerned. Then becoming a master view of art. I'm going to talk about that. And these are the major ones. I got other topics that I talk about on my YouTube, but I'm just going to talk about the three big major ones. And the last one is Dance Without Music, okay, which is causing me, the Dance Without Music section in my YouTubes is the one that's causing me not to do YouTubes, because I'm working on something. It's not like it's just very difficult. When I get to the Dance Without Music, which is going to be the last part of the update, I do it this way because some people are just interested. A lot of people are interested in Ex-Jehovah Witness, okay, in my channel. And I just put it that way. Then the second one is Master View of Art. It's going to be slow, but I know that's going to be popular. Then Dance Without Music. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, because some people just want to hear about what I've been, my next YouTube as far as Ex-Jehovah Witness is concerned. I'm going to be fixing my hair too, because I want to show you how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to keep talking about it, because this is an update, okay? And I like to share little things about myself, which are important to me. I really like my hair. This is the first time in a long time, because the other places that I work, they tell me, you gotta cut your hair, you gotta cut your hair, you gotta cut your hair, and cut that stuff off your hair, you know what I mean? But now I'm in a position, I'm still working every day. But nobody says that, and I don't have to do it. So I want to take the opportunity to do it. So now getting back, what was the getting ready to say? Okay, the first one, Ex-Jehovah Witnesses. Now, the next one is going to be on reasoning, okay? It's going to be, the reason why I wanted to be on reasoning, because I had something to talk about as far as the reasoning. Is there something that happened? Oh, okay, now this is what I came up with, the point, and this is very important as far as those who stay as being a Jehovah Witness, and those who want to be Jehovah Witness, who are captured, how can you say, who are caught or whatever, or who are, I got to keep the point in my mind so I won't leave it. Okay, it's an experience that happened to me in college. a class. It was called, not, it was some kind of thinking. It wasn't reasoning class. It was, maybe I'll come up with the term, but it was, it's some kind of thinking class or something, but I gotta get the word for it. But as I said, I just did that so that I could keep this point in my mind as far as the example I want to show you in the update. But it's, like I said, many people wonder why people are, let me see, when they go from door to door and they want to have a Bible study, or people who become Jehovah Witnesses. So it's people who are become Jehovah Witnesses. Why they become Jehovah Witnesses, the major reason why they stay Jehovah Witnesses. I'm talking about the ones that really believe in it, and why it's hard to come out, okay? And it's based on something that I was, that I remember in the class. And it was some kind of thinking class, not positive thinking. Maybe I'll think of it, but it was a, let me see, not power thinking. It was, anyway, it was a class. It was some kind of class, but it's a normal word. Everybody knows it, but I can't bring it up. But I took this class, and I wish I could get that word, but I was in the class and she was giving sentences about certain things, okay? And this is when I couldn't reason at all, okay? And I freaked out. And she would put a sentence up and everybody would be like explaining what this thing meant. And I was like freaking out. It's because I couldn't reason. I didn't have any ability whatsoever to reason, which made me think that everything that I thought was right, you know what I mean, just freaked out. And everybody was really nice to me because they didn't tell me, you know, it's your problem. You're the one that can't think properly. I wish I could think of the word. Anyway, but by the time I get to that video, by the time I do the YouTube, I'm sure I'll look up the word. So it's based on that. And I actually dropped out of that class. But as I went on through college and I graduated and left college and everything, I remembered the class, you know, and I was able to understand what my problem was, okay? So what I'm trying to say is some people don't, when I'm saying reasoning, is when they hear something, I'm sorry about that. When they, oh, look at that, okay. When they hear something, they don't do anything with it, okay? I want to use some examples, but I'm not going to do that now because this is just an update. So like I said, I'm going to talk about that as far as reasoning, that topic, as far as ex-Jehovah Witnesses are concerned. And this thing twisted when I did that. So that's as far as my update is for the ex-Jehovah Witnesses. So some people don't want to listen to becoming a master view of art, but I want to see how it is in the back. So when I actually do this video, I'm going to actually be able to see the back of my head just a little bit. I hope it looks all right. And like I said, and you know, a lot of people, as far as my hair is concerned, a lot of people don't understand. I can say part of being black or something. I mean, my hair is different, but you really care about your hair. And nobody really compliments you on your hair. If your hair's like this, kinky, it could be curly. If I put water in it, it just curl up. But it's basically kinky curly or whatever, you know what I mean? And I love it, but you know, it's not popular. But I'm getting ready to grow this stuff out. And it's just something I really love, okay? So now the next one is becoming a master viewer of art. And my hair is gray. There's nothing I can do with it. There's no way. I don't want to diet. It's a lot of problems to do that. So anyway, becoming a master viewer of art, that one's quick, okay? And I'm going to try to fix this thing because it's still not, it's just going to be crooked. That's better. That one is something else. Becoming a master viewer of art, I have to do the 15-page paper. I'm typing it and I still haven't finished it. The reason why I haven't been doing it, and I just want to make this update for becoming a master viewer of art. I am totally into it. I know I haven't did a video in a long time with it, and I could do it, but I want to finish this thing that I'm doing in Dance Without Music. And like I said, Dance Without Music is not about really dance. I just use the concept to teach you to learn about your body and learn about your mind and body, putting your mind and body together. That's why I call it Dance Without Music. And becoming a master viewer of art goes along with it, but it is so tormenting, and this might be crooked, but there's nothing I can do right now. The picture, because I can see it looks crooked to me. There's nothing I can do with it right now because becoming a master viewer of art, because I'm so stuck on not being able to finish this thing I'm doing with Dance Without Music, and it's so intense. I know for those of you who follow Dance Without Music, you know how intricate it is. But anyway, so that's what I'm still doing. I just want to say about becoming a master viewer of art, I'm totally still into it, but I cannot go to the next step until I finish the 15-page paper. And you know about the 15-page paper if you look at follow the streams of when I had the YouTubes of becoming a master viewer of art. So the major thing I want to say about the master viewer of art, I'm into it 100%, definitely. I'm still doing it. Now, this is the update for Dance Without Music. This is really my baby. I mean, I like all the other ones, you know, but because this one is so important, it's just very important. It's actually putting your mind and body together. And I came up with the concept of Dance Without Music, and I use, like I said, I use the concept of Michael Jackson's Thriller dance to kind of like put things in perspective. It's a fun thing to keep things very interesting because it can get kind of boring if you don't follow things. It can be very, very boring, but not boring not boring for me. I actually like it, you know, even when it's boring, I like it because I know what's happening. And there's little, how can I say, little little treats I want to give you as far as Dance Without Music. There's some new vocabulary. And I'm going to do 3 new vocabulary words here, just to keep your interest. And then I'll talk about why I'm not, should I do that now? Okay, I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to talk about the treats that I'm with Dance Without Music. So I'm talking about why I haven't did a Dance Without Music. I haven't did Dance Without Music on YouTube in a long time, and the reason for that is I was doing Dance Without Music, and I do it for you all actually. And the funny thing is that I'm not really into like becoming the things that actually you become when you do Dance Without Music, or the thing that I'm actually teaching. Not that I'm not interested in, because I do it all the time, but it happened to me. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, because of the fact that I was doing exercises and I was doing the developing things, my mind, if you follow the video, you understand what I'm talking about. My mind started adapting to the things that I was learning with dance without music. And I told you about processing all this other thing. So it's processing. Basically, what it's processing is I did this quadratic formula. Okay, I did the quadratic formula where I move inside the quadratic formula. Okay, which is very highly difficult. We're in precision, and after precision, because we're going to do precision 2, and after precision 2 is perfection and power. I don't know which one comes first or which one comes last. Okay, but in it you have to know the quadratic formula. I call it the quadratic formula room. Okay, you actually have the concept of the room in your mind, and because your body becomes one with your mind, you can use the quadratic formula to form a room, the floor. We're just starting with the floor of the room of the quadratic formula room. Okay? So I did it, but you know how the mind works, and plus, I mean, nobody would be able to. I'm not trying to sound like I'm so high and everything like that, but nobody would be able to do it because I'm showing you how you can. Okay, but anyway, I'm at the point where my mind, and I couldn't do it. If you look at my former video, I did the quadratic formula room, and I couldn't do it. I tried it maybe two. If you watch these videos, I tried it 2 times. One time it was a room, I just called it the room, I think. But the second time I called it the quadratic formula room. And I'm sure I was able to do it. Well, I was doing it, and this is how the mind works. If you want to do something, you can pretty much, remember I told you about when I told you about some of the vocabulary words that we have, there's one vocabulary word that we used. Anyway, it's not coming up. But what I'm trying to say is I knew that I could do it, okay? But it wasn't ready yet. And I said, I tried it, and I said, no, I can't do it. And I actually was honest with you. I couldn't do the quadratic formula room. But then my body started developing. It's just like we're working, like when you do the weights and everything, this is going on a long time, but I'm gonna try and end it now pretty soon. When you do weights and everything, your body becomes strong, okay? But this is something that you do when your body and your mind you want your body and your mind to become one, okay? To work together. That's what I'm trying to say. You still have your body, you still have your mind, but you want it to work together. Sometimes you just use your mind, sometimes you just use your body. But now you have a different thing with dance pop music. You can be one with your body. So I have the quadratic formula, and I was forming the room. And with the room, we have to use all the powers. You remember what the powers are? I can't go any vocabulary words or anything because this is an update, okay? So I was going along with it, and I know it's in my mind, but okay, remember your quadrants. I remember the quadrants, but I'm going to use the vocabulary words because we have to keep it up. But my retro say, and that's in there, down, everything down, like the retro say, the first floor, and the how can I say this? And I can't remember, but I divided everything from what was the next thing? This one right here. It's you remember the retro say, then the first floor, and then I gotta get the things. But anyway, I divided the areas from up here down. Remember, we don't use body parts because it makes it more complicated, and we're not into powers. We're doing just powers. There's powers all the way down. Remember, all the way down where you walk, okay? And everything is divided. If you look at I'm acting sometimes like haven't seen any of the videos. But what I'm trying to say is that the powers, and you should know what the powers are, that we were using, we have weight, we have tension, we have pressure, all those things. And when you walk, when we're doing the quadratic formula, you have to form the room. But I was not able to do that, and my body started processing to be able to do it, which affects my walking, okay? And it's tormenting me, but I know what I'm doing, okay? And it's organizing everything so that I will be able to do the quadratic formula room. I can do it in my mind, but I cannot walk. I cannot form the room with my movements as far as walking or in a dance. I can say walking through the quadratic formula. I can't do it unless my mind can organize. Remember the pressure. We have the pressure. We have and we're coming up with some new vocabulary words like I said, as something that I'm giving you at the end of this explanation. So if you understand, if you follow Dance About Music, you understand what I'm talking about. So, and you understand when I said that I wasn't able to do quadratic formula room, it's still it's developing, but it's like so small, one point at a time. And the control, it works. I mean, all these things I need that we use for just walking, my body is developing so that I can show you the quadratic formula room and precision 2, okay? So if you follow all these YouTubes that I had, you pretty much understand. My problems in explaining is because I know there's people who just came in and don't understand Dance Without Music. And I know there's people who know about the Dance Without Music. And there's people who are interested in Dance Without Music. So I'm trying to talk to everyone at once, the different perspectives at one time. So that's why it's hard for me to explain it. But if you know about the station, it's very easy. And if you follow Dance About Music, the only thing I want to say is that when I was there's things that I have to control or organize with my mind in order to do the quadratic formula room, okay? The reason why it doesn't have anything too much to do with precision 2, may not, but when I was doing it, my mind wanted to give me that. It went into and I talked about this, a process. When your mind starts processing, okay? So my mind started processing for these things that I wanted to do. It wasn't just a quadratic formula room. It was all the things that I was talking about in Dance Without Music. And when you do it, your mind adapts to what you want to do with your body. Like for instance, if you want to become a tennis player, your mind, if you're really serious about it, you do these things, these practices to become a very good tennis player. Then your body kicks in, your mind kicks in and go, okay, well, this has to be used. Use this, so I have to use this better. I have to use this. So it's like a needle and thread. It's like it just fixes things for you, for what you want to do. And the best explanation as far as Dance About Music is when we talked about the not adapter. We talked about the not adapter. What's that? There's one thing that we said, whenever we use something, like even if I use this pick, it's like an apparatus, okay? We talked about apparatus, okay? I'm developing an apparatus, okay, for the quadratic formula room. Okay, so that's better for me to say. I need an apparatus for that, and an apparatus to continue with the Michael Jackson Thriller song, the dance. Okay, so now I did all the updates. I put that one last because I wanted the people who were interested in whatever to get what they wanted, and then I do this one. And I have a few. It's going on 25 minutes, and I have a treat. Okay, there's treats now. This one is 3 vocabulary words. I'm using drug words. Okay, it's just what I have to do. I know about meaning. I studied vocabulary. I studied linguistics and everything, and I really continued after I graduated from college. So these words I have to use that they use for drugs, okay? And I'm going to put the vocabulary in the Dance Without Music. The first one, it has nothing to do with the drug, or nothing to do with the drug whatsoever. But I can explain it later on in depth more as I go along. But I want to close this now, and we can talk about it when we get back into the Dance Without Music. Cocaine, okay? There's one thing called cocaine, okay? This is in the Dance Without Music, and this is a vocabulary, okay? Remember about our vocabulary words. If you want to know why I'm using certain vocabulary words and this and that about vocabulary, just look at my videos before, and you can see that I use certain vocabulary words, and I use certain words used for something else, and I put it into Dance Without Music, which has nothing to do or very little to do with anything else but in Dance Without Music. So there's one. The first one is cocaine. Cocaine is cocaine in Dance Without Music. Okay. I had a friend one time. This is to explain to you about this first vocabulary word with Dance Without Music. I had a friend one time, and he was a tennis player actually, and he said something that I always thought about. And he goes, "What about?" Because he knows I'm a deep thinker. He goes, "What about this?" And a lot of people think about this. He goes, "What about this?" Okay, and it's something that people think about. You look, and I can move my finger. That's all it is. It's like, I want to do it here because I don't like when. Okay. I can use my finger. And he goes, "What about this?" And it's something that was like, what? He knows about that? He's been thinking of, certain people wonder about certain movements that we can do. Even if you're a piano player, you go like this, okay? And you want to know what it is, okay? Now, this is a vocabulary word, but you can't use it too much because it's so powerful and it'll freak you out. I want you to only do it. I want you to know about it, but I don't want you to concentrate on it or work with it because it'll freak you out. You could do it only once in a blue moon, okay? Because it's something that you'll see every so often internally, and it has a place, but right now it's too powerful for you to handle, okay? And it has to be put in the right place, okay? So it's a vocabulary word that's attached to a function that happens internally, okay? And the only thing you have to know is that it's there, okay? Now, one thing that I can do, because I've been doing it for so long, okay? I can go like this, okay? And this one thing I can feel or I can see. I'm not going to say like. Whenever I say like, it has nothing to do, it just means like. Like is like almost, I mean, like means to me, like when I say something is like, it's like this, I mean that it's, in order for you to understand it, I'm giving you an example so that it's nothing like it, but it may help you to come to an understanding of it. So that's what like. So I'm going to say this and this, okay? It's the same thing, okay? The movement here and the movement here is the same thing, okay? And that which moves, okay, it's different kinds of movements that we have. This one is an entirely different one. We talked about powers, but there are also movements, okay? That one is moved by, I have to call it cocaine. I'm going to call it cocaine. We'll talk about it later on, okay? So I got it here. And once you, which is not now, but I'm able to see it, okay? I'm not going to say it's like see, like understand, like know what it is. And I can feel, I can see, okay, I can actually sense it or see it from here and travel all the way to here, okay? So when I go here, 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 okay? Now both of them can move at the same time, but that's something different, okay? Okay? But that's why I'm saying movements, we haven't gotten the movements yet. But that's what I call cocaine. Now, you can only do it once in a blue moon, okay? Because it's so powerful and it's strengthening, but you don't want to do it again because you'll mess up all of the lessons if you concentrate on it. You have to follow everything I do, everything I say, because I went through this, okay? And I explained this before. Don't try, and you can't trick me. I mean, you could be tricking yourself, okay? Like I said, don't do it every so often. You can just move and then move, but you won't see it or you won't understand it, okay? Until a long time, until it's ready to be understood, okay? But you have to wait. It's like I'm in a position now to where I'm processing this thing and I can't do anything. It's not in my control because my mind is trying to develop these things, okay? So that's a long story. So I gave you one treat, a vocabulary word, which is cocaine. You'll see it once in a blue moon, it'll come up and you go, wow, but just leave it alone, okay? Because it's a development, but it's very, very highly powerful, okay? But you gotta listen to everything I say because it's really, that's it. Just do it once in a blue moon. You can't don't remember or plan to do it. Like for instance, say, I'm gonna practice on this, I'm gonna do this tomorrow, I'm gonna keep doing it until, that's how Americans are. Sometimes the stupidity of Americans. If they say something causes cancer, they throw everything away. If they learn one thing, they want to sell it. Okay, but that's just one thing. So I already told you the warnings and everything. So just like I said, and then you could just move. If you're just moving this and then moving this, and you can't see anything, that's a good start. That means you don't see what it is. Okay, and like I said, this and this and this is totally different. That's cocaine. The only time it's cocaine is when you can see it and it can travel all the way to this one. You see it traveling. I can travel it, okay? And then I'm traveling it to this, okay? Okay, so that's cocaine. Like I said, that's a vocabulary word for Dance Without Music. It has nothing to do with the drug. But they're drug words. I'm sorry. The reason why I made this, I had to put in a release because it's intriguing. It intrigues the mind, okay? But it's nothing to do with drugs whatsoever. But I have to put it in that category because it is a mental, fun thing. Very addictive, but you don't want to do it. And that's another thing too. This helps you to learn how to pace yourself. Like when I say do it once in a blue moon, your strength in yourself not doing it and doing it once in a blue moon, it's also strengthening your ability to adapt to things, like when you say being able to cut things off, saying no, not anymore, once in a blue moon. Okay, so that one's done. And then the other one is ecstasy. Okay, this one, and now I'm going to shorten this out because this is getting too long. This one, ecstasy. What ecstasy is when somebody asks you directions. Okay, somebody says, do you know where the closest store is? As soon as they say that, and you locate the store, locate the directions to that person, or even if you just try and figure out or whatever, that moment right there is ecstasy. Okay, that's the only thing I'm gonna say. Okay, do you know where the closest store is? And then the person has given you the ability to do ecstasy. Okay, so if I come to you and I go, do you know where the closest McDonald's is? Or do you know where I-95 is from here? Okay, so remember, that point when the person tells you that, and you go into a place to where you look for the answer, and that's what you call ecstasy. Okay, and that's it. And you don't want to do it. Don't even practice that. The only time you can do it on that one, and this teaches you control. The first one, you only do it once in a blue moon. This one, you can't do it. The only time you do it is when somebody asks you, but you can't fake it. The only time is honestly, okay? And you have to follow these directions. Wait until somebody asks you directions. And as soon as they ask you the directions, you go into an ecstasy. And then you tell them the answer, okay? Now, the other one is speed, okay? This one is not so much mental. This one is mental and physical, okay? Speed is, okay, we gave up on gravity. I'm getting away from weight, okay, because of the things I'm learning, to where I'm making weight. So I'm getting rid of all of their things as far as weight and gravity has gone out the window a long time ago. Speed, okay? Speed is when you get up, okay? Let me see, I want to be able to, okay? Okay, when you stand, okay, or when you sit down, the moment you sit down, okay, like if I sit down, okay, that sitting down is speed, okay? Or if I plop down, speed, okay? But remember from our lessons, the powers, speed or the motion, I'm not going to say force. The power makes, I'm just going to say, before we used to say weight turns into pressure, okay? It actually, from pressure, melts into like a weight, okay? But we're not going to go there. The only thing we're talking about is speed. Instead of using weight now, we're going to change, or we could probably keep weight, but we're kind of breaking it up into speed. Because remember the other video was like, we're keep going. If this chair, somebody pulls this chair from under me, I'm going to move. I'm going to keep moving, okay? So, but I'm going to add a speed, okay? Remember, force is direction, speed. Oh, let me see. Direction, speed, and something. Force, direction, and speed, or something like that. We have to go. But anyway, now we're getting ready to close this thing. So we're gonna, you know what speed is, okay? Like I said, if I get up I'll feel the speed turn in just before it turns into, like, I can say weight or pressure, okay? That getting up is speed, okay? I'm not talking about doing something fast and slow. I'm talking about if somebody moved this chair from under me, I would keep falling, okay? That's the speed I'm talking about. Now, the only time you can use it is when you're walking up the stairs, or something like when you're walking up the stairs. And every time you take a step, that moment of straightening into that, you can't feel it now maybe, is speed, okay? Or when you sit down, the moment you sit down, while you sit down, that's the speed. When you stand up, that's the speed, okay? That's going to make it simple. Those are the times when you may be able to feel it. Or like I said, maybe that's what I'm talking about. Or viewing. This is the easiest one to do. If I take this, you're going to see this is in the drug category also. Vocabulary, not drug category. It's vocabulary words that I use, which come from. Look at this thing, how it changed the lighting or whatever. That's so weird. Okay, when I changed the no, I kind of lost my thought. But anyway, this is, I'm going to use this. Forget about like when you sit down, when you stand up, or you can still use it. But this one is for speed. When I drop this, you're going to be able to see. Okay, speed. Okay, this is what I wanted to say. These are vocabulary words that I take from certain drugs, illegal drugs, okay? And I put them into Dance Without Music. I take the word, only the word, and I use it. I I just use it for Dance Without Music. And plus it's a treat. Okay. So anyway, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this update. I don't know when the next one is coming. I'm coming out of this, but I know it's going very well because it's organizing, and that's it. Thanks. I haven't seen you all in so long. Okay. Looking forward to the next time. Bye.